melody that never goes away. You're the sweetest thing, an easy song to sing. You're like a work of art, so priceless to me. A timeless beauty from the movie screen. It never ever seems to fade. So baby, put that glass down and turn the music up. It's like these words.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Must be Friday. Come on in. Let's get started. The weekly check-in, weekly Q&A. Come on in. And so again, if this is your first time stopping by, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, educator, author. And so every week we get together to have a Q&A check-in, and I will be discussing why we do not practice self-kindness, as well as ways that we can practice self-kindness. So just gonna hang out for about a minute or two. Again, if this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please let me know where you're watching from. That is a thing of mine. I like to know, so please make sure you check in. Tell me where you're watching from. Indianapolis. Good morning, Tweety. Thank you. I like that. For the DMV. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to talk about self-kindness. And what I've noticed is that why it's so difficult for people to practice self-kindness. Hey, from Texas, here we go. New edition. Together for over 30 years. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Fantastic, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's what we're going to be rocking today. We're going to be rocking New Edition and Johnny Gill. New Edition been together for 30 years. More than that, I believe. Almost 40. But we don't give them the flowers like we do the Grateful Dead and some of the other groups that are still touring, man. So shout out to New Edition. I've been a New Edition fan for years. So actually, I'm just a music fan. So again, let me reset things. Good morning, everyone. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, educator, author, father, husband, and shout out to my wife. Today is her birthday. Let's go. Shout out to my wife. I have Alaskan king crab supposed to be delivered today. So if I got to jump on hold to go answer my door, they're supposed to be dropping off some crab legs today. So I'm going to cook. We got a bowl tonight, so I'm going to cook tomorrow for my wife. I got her some other gifts as well. I mean, that's the thing, is that you have to make sure that your significant other knows that they are loved. And it's not just the gifts. I get the gifts because I want to be able to express that. But the key is making sure that your significant other is treated with the respect and love. And that actually helps to strengthen a relationship. The gifts are always nice, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, when somebody has decided to connect with you for the rest of your life, you want to do the small things that help undergird the relationship. So thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I don't think she'll be able to watch this. She's at work right now. But, she'll watch the replay when I put it over on YouTube. So again, I want to say, and also I want to say to everybody that was here last week, thank you, because I decided to run with the idea of the steps on recovering from a toxic relationship. I am actually going to write a book Decided just to take 12 steps. There's probably more, but I decided to take 12 steps that I'm going to put into a small book as well as a course. And I'm going to teach how to identify and deal with each of the steps. So I actually have the outline. I actually printed it out because I'm actually just going over some things as I do some research. And it was an idea given to me by somebody here on TikTok. Shout out to Jennifer J, because she mentioned it when I asked the question. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Nobody on my business line. Okay. Sometimes I get spam calls because my business information out there. Good morning. Good morning. And also remember, this is open to you also. If you have Q&As, Jesus loves you and personal relationship with him. Oh, yes, I have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Thank you for inquiring or asking. Good morning. Good morning. And again, please check in. Let me know if you have not told me where you're from. Tell me where you're from. I like that. But yeah, shout out to Jennifer J here on my TikTok page. I had asked the question, what are some of the subjects that you would like to have me discuss? And one of them was recovering from a toxic relationship. We always get somebody from Mississippi and Texas. I love you two states. Alabama, let's go. Alabama too. And so when she asked, when she submitted how to recover from a toxic relationship, I did some research. So I came up with 12. There's others. And then after last week's live, you guys gave a lot of great information. I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down and put this book together. I haven't contacted my graphic designer to create a cover yet. And I have a poll up on my page. So if you come back after the live and go to my page, there's 3 titles. Let me know which one works for you. Right now, it looks like letter C is working when it comes to the title choices. And let me see if I can bring it up here. So it looks like C is winning the poll right now for titles of the book. So A is How to Recover from a Toxic Relationship in 12 Steps. B is Personal Steps to Recover from a Toxic Relationship. And C is 12 Steps to Recover from a Toxic Relationship. And right now, C is winning. And so again, as I do every Friday, I'm not going to leave you here with nothing. So make sure you have your pens and paper ready. Because one of the things that we're going to talk about today is ways we can practice self-kindness. I have about, I think it's 8 or 10 ways that we can practice self-kindness. But before I get into the ways that we can practice self-kindness, I want to ask all of you that are watching, right? How do you express self-kindness to yourself? Or has self-kindness been something that you struggle with? And I'm not talking about self-help or self-help. Those are things that can be included in self-kindness. But I'm talking about literally just being kind to yourself and the things around you that affect you. How many of you practice positive self-kindness? And if you do, let me know. And if it's a struggle, let me know that too. I would love to hear from you and give me an idea of what that looks like for you, because I'm going to go into some of the ways that we can practice self-kindness. So if you have a pen. I struggle strongly with self-kindness. I am abused so much. I was abused so much. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Got you. North Carolina. Hey, shout out. I try, but it feels fake. Okay. I be good to myself all the time. I make myself something to eat, and I buy myself some flowers. Okay, cool. I don't know how to do that. Okay, and we're going to talk about that today for the brothers and sisters, how to practice self-kindness. But I want to go back to what Just offered. One of the things that we have to do is we have to fall in love with ourselves again. And one of the things that we do is loving the person that we are, enjoying the person that we are, as well as accepting how we got to where we are. One of the things that I talk about in the book is that we have to take note. The very first thing that I talk about in the book is we have to take note of how we got to where we are. Like, you have to say, where am I in my life and how did I get here? And that's one of the things that I do in my counseling sessions. So if you've never thought about getting professional counseling, you might want to consider it. Because one of the things I do in my counseling session is we identify, how did you get where you are right now? How did you get to talking to me. And then we look to chop that up. We look to make it make sense. So for self-kindness, guys, you have to first look at what is preventing you from being kind to yourself. Was it because of what someone else did to you? Was it because of something that your parents did to you? Was it something that you do to yourself on a regular because you just feel inadequate? And all those things that you're saying, good sleep, getting something to eat, treating yourself right with some flowers. I like that. And then Miss Julia said it feels fake. If something feels fake, we have to have that discussion with why. Because the why is critical, guys. And often we don't want to face the why because there's pain connected to it. So we'll ignore it or we'll lie to ourselves. And we have gotten really gifted at lying to ourselves. 18 years ago, when I was out in these streets running wild, 37 years of running wild. I started with the ladies when I was 12. When you start something like that at 12, because I didn't realize I was abused at 7. Yeah, 7. And when you're abused at 7, you think hypersexuality is a way to get back what was taken from me. No, I didn't realize that I needed professional help. Never got it, especially in communities of color. We don't discuss problems. We don't discuss issues. We don't talk about when children are touched in inappropriate ways. So a lot of times we're forced to have that internal pain, and it turns into so many different negative things. I feel like guilt and depression would cause me to abuse myself emotionally, never physically. Well, there it is. And mentally, I got you. And that's one of the things that we look to draw out, is that we look to draw out what is wrong. And one of the things that I offer as a counselor is that I give you a safe space. I am a safe individual because I'm going to allow you to put that on the table and it not cost you anything, but gain you relief. Hey, there you go, checking in from Atlanta. Okay, ATL. So I didn't know for 37 years the reason why I was a manipulator and so out of control, and why women had became my drug and my God and everything else, was because I never dealt with me. I don't think up until that point I had really, really sat down and said, how do I really feel about me? I thought I liked myself. I was quite arrogant. I know I was feeling myself. But what I found is all of that was a facade. All of that was lies, because me being the grandiose dude, me being the party animal, me going to school and getting degrees, all that stuff was a way for me to hide that I wasn't completely happy with me. And so when you live that way, not only do you destroy yourself, you harm other people because you can never really be real with them. So they're literally getting connected to the fake you. So you're only setting them up to be hurt, because when they find out who the real you is, there's no way to not hurt them. And then when you become like I was, lack of emotion, then you do more damage, because when women would be like, well, how could you do that to me? And I would act like I didn't care. And partially I didn't, because I didn't know how to care. So when people go, well, how could you do so? You should care. No, listen, you have to learn how to care. I've worked with children now 30 years, right? 22 years in New York City school system. No, I'm sorry, 28 years. And one of the things that I've always marveled at is educators who try to tell children how, good morning, hey, good morning, how they should feel and what they should think. No. That child is going to come from whatever home they come from, and that's going to have the greatest effect on how that child behaves. It is your job to help that child see a new pathway, give that child new vision, and then let that child do something with that. And then hopefully when they go home, somebody pours water on that seed that you just planted. Now, what does any of this have to do with self-kindness? Well, everything has a genesis. All pain has a genesis. All happiness has a genesis. When you can figure out what's caused the pain, then you can start to recreate a pathway that now you can start the new way of being happy. See, nothing lasts forever. And the more that you learn or the more that you give away, the more that you push that pain out, the more you can become a new person. As I said to you, these last 18 years, I've been blessed. I've been with my wife 22 or 23, so last 19 years. I love this checking in from Atlanta, moved from New York City. Yes, I'm originally from New York City as well. Shout out to South Jamaica, Queens, raised in Brooklyn. Yeah, all of that. So when we address all of those situations, we now have the opportunity to create new pathways. No one knows how someone feels. They can only assume. Yeah, we can only assume, but that's why we have conversations. Because no one is ever going to know how anyone feels until you have a conversation or until you watch what's going on. And what we have to understand is that when we are broken and we bring people into our atmosphere as a broken person, if we're resisting change, well, eventually we could break or really push somebody to break in who's with us. I miss mentoring teams. It takes a special mindset to unselfishly pour into our. Yeah, I listen. I still do it. I have a mentor program that meets every Tuesday and Thursday. But now that I'm older, I would not go back in the classroom, but I do enjoy the time that I spend with the young ones. We had a great session last night with the young men. We were talking about perception and how people perceive and how you can control perception. And I had the girls on Tuesday. But I work with adults as well. And I think the beautiful thing of working with adults and children is I get to see where a lot of things start, and then I get to see what the long-term outcome is. So both feed each other. So when I'm working with kids, I'm fed by the adults that I work with because I can try to help change that. Do you think everyone can completely heal? Yes, I think you can completely heal, but of course you're never going to forget. I do think you can heal, yes. And guys, while we're talking, let's keep tagging that screen. Here we go. All right, that's your way of letting me, that's how I know that you're digging what we're talking about. Keep tapping that screen. I don't know what the likes goal will be today. We'll just, wherever it ends up by the time we're done. So just keep tapping the screen. We got over 20,000 last time. Let's see if we can get there. So we all have to accept our reality, right? And then the question becomes, how do we do the work? How do we position ourselves to get into a different mindset, get into a different space? Like I said, from last week's conversation, and thank you so much for the gifts and the likes. One of the things that I said from last week's conversation, that's why I decided to write the book, because I'm doing the research on the toxic relationships, because I believe it'll be something that'll help me in my counseling, because it's something I come across a lot. And when the sister brought it up, I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down and write this book. Now, is it going to be the deepest, extensive book? No. You do not have to accept change. Everybody makes a choice. No, you don't. You're 100% right. Everybody does not have to accept change. And you see it in some people around you. Some people do not want to change, and that's okay. Because what happens is, if a person is comfortable with their pain or their happiness, they may not want to change. And when I say comfortable with their happiness, trust me, there are people who are comfortable with their unhappiness because they would rather deal with the devil they know than do the work, which is like a devil they don't know. Because once you've been hurt, until you can start to heal, you may believe, and I say may, that everything else is going to hurt you the same way. And that's where we have to understand we can't force change. See, as a professional, when somebody comes to me, like when people say, can you talk to my husband? Can you talk to my wife? Of course I could. The question is, should I? Because if your husband or your wife doesn't want to speak to me, I don't want anybody forced to come and talk to me. Because if they're forced, then they're not going to be fully who they are. So a lot of times I'll send people to my YouTube page to take a look at what I do, or take a look at my books. And then this way, if that catches fire somewhere, if something sparks in, they want to have a conversation, I'm here for it. Is it true that men don't heal? They just move from girl to girl. No, that's not true, because everybody can heal. And it's not just men or women. It's not a gender thing. We as humans can heal when given the right opportunities to. The body is designed to heal itself, even emotionally and mentally. How we think and how we feel can change based on our experiences. So if our experiences are no longer negative, our mind and body will embrace the new. The question is, are we open to the change? Anybody can change. Anybody can heal. And me as a man of faith, I always believe people can heal. But the question is, are people ready to do the work to heal? Are people ready to address the pain? Like, as I said, the very first thing in my book is you have to take note of how you got the way you are. Some people don't want to acknowledge how they got here. It's too painful. I get it. And this is where all the clinicians that I know, whatever level, psychiatrist, therapist, counselor, coach, consultant, whatever it is, the idea is that we have to be able to reach people where they are from our own professional standpoint. Give people an opportunity to express what they're feeling, and then from our own professional positions, pour into folks, but create a safe space by making it okay for people to offer what they're dealing with. Another thing, too, is that professionals have to know when something is above their pay grade. If I'm in a counseling session, I realize that what this person is dealing with is something I can't deal with, I quickly say, let's do this. Let me refer you to somebody who could deal with that directly, because we also don't want to hurt a person, because we can do more damage messing around with something that we shouldn't. Some abuses require a higher level of care, and a professional has to know when something is above them. And as like you saw in the video from a few years ago when my man said, this is above me now. We have to understand that. And again, thank you for tapping the screens. And if you just got here, everybody that just popped in, anybody, please let me know where you're watching from. Always, when you come in here, check in and let me know where you are. All right, I'd appreciate that. And again, this is an open Q&A, so if you have questions, you can go ahead and ask them. And what I'm going to do is, as we're talking about self-kindness today, I'm just giving you a little background in how we got to this point. And I'm going to give you, I think, 10, let me count, 1, 2, I think it's like 10 things. Cleveland, Ohio, yes, we're going to give you, shout out to LA. I'm going to give you 10 ways to practice self-kindness, because we have to be able to build positive foundations within ourselves, or at least attempt to. And then if we need assistance, get the assistance that needs. All right, Oregon, that's the first time. Oregon, hey, Chi-Town, another one of the major cities I have not been to. I have to get to Chicago. I have friends and family in Chicago, but there we go. Okay, so again, my question was, and I'm going to ask everybody again, I'm going to ask it again. What are some of the things that you guys do to practice self-kindness? Now, self-care can be part of self-kindness, but what are some of the things that you do to practice self-kindness? And if you struggle with self-kindness, please tell me that you are somebody that struggles with self-kindness. We can have that conversation too. And I will definitely get to the list in a second, because you know me, I like to, if I'm going to be on in front of a camera, I want to make sure I'm pouring into the people that are watching. It would not be fair for me to just sit here and talk and I don't offer something back. To me, I think that's disrespectful to you guys who are watching. And again, thank you for tapping the screen. Keep tapping that screen, guys, while you're watching on your phones, computer, tablets, whatever. Keep tapping that screen. Let's get those hearts up on the side there. It signals to TikTok to let other people see it and maybe come over and find me for the first time. And I would appreciate that. And again, if you're just getting here and you don't know who I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, author, educator, father, husband, educational consultant. I struggle. I get mad at the slightest things, like a car speeding. Okay. Now, one of the things with that is it because it causes you fear, or what is it that comes from when you get mad at the slightest thing? Is it something that is triggered inside of you that creates that? And what is that connected to? If you can think about it? I'm a struggler. Speak positive affirmations. Pause before I agree to anything. I got you. And there's nothing wrong, Elliot. There's nothing wrong with pausing before. The thing is, don't breathe doubt. If you can avoid it, don't breathe doubt into yourself. Like, I've seen people go, I've given somebody compliments, right? Like, I'll say, that's a nice dress. This thing, nah, I don't really like it. Okay, but you still look nice in it. Nah, no, I don't. Really? Like, I see people who have a hard time, and I was one of those people years ago that had a hard time taking compliments. Hey, shout out for Washington State. So one of the things that we have to look at is, where is that triggered from? Meditation and yes, meditation is a good one. Telling myself I love me. Yes, I love it. I'm a recovering people pleaser. That's one, Ellie. Yes, you please. When we go out to try to please the wrong people, oh man, we build up a wall that we ain't let nobody in. Like, you know what? I tried to help everybody, got screwed. I ain't helping nobody. So I respect that. And meditation is another good one. I try to meditate It's why I like driving when I have to travel distances, because when I'm in a car by myself, I really take that time to listen to audiobooks or sometimes just to quietly meditate. And I am a man of faith, so I'll have that time to talk to God. And that's another way for me to be able to have some moments of internal reflection. I used to do that when I was 10. Do what? I missed it. Unless I missed it, I'm sorry if I missed it. You used to do what when you were 10? I'm grown and take every, there we go. There we go. Listen, if they're giving the compliments, listen. Because some people think taking a compliment is rude. Nah, listen. You're handsome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, my arrogant me be like, I know. But yeah, we have to take compliments as long. Here's the thing. If you know you struggle with identifying a compliment to a person trying to probe, I can understand you backing away from a compliment because you don't want to place yourself in a situation where a person is trying to make you out of victim because of their compliments. I understand why a person may distance themselves. But my thing is, be okay with the compliment, but just pay attention. A person's actions will show themselves if you are firm on yourself. If you're good with you, you will see, for the most part, there's some gifted liars out there. Trust me, I can tell you. Life is unfair. Life is a play, but only you know the characters. That's true. That's true, but life is forever changing, so those characters are forever changing. So we always have to be in a state of learning. And we start with self and then our circles. If we start with ourselves and ground ourselves into something solid, and that's another one that I have on my list for the book that I'm writing, is, where's it at? Build and keep supportive people around you. That's in the book as well. Because we can't do this alone. You can't work this life alone. Thank you. I appreciate that. We have to build ourselves up, and you can't get to anywhere great by yourself anyway. Plus, I heard Kevin Hart say this: who wants to be at the top alone anyway? And I believe that. And one of the things that I am a people person. I have learned to appreciate people, one, by paying attention to them, two, by engaging with them. And I think in the past, I would do that as a way to deflect from myself. Once I came to be honest with myself and I made a personal spiritual transformation with myself, now when I deal with other people, it is to pour into them. And when they pour back into me, I accept it. I'm good. Because now it is about building relationships and understanding that relationships all have levels. But when you have those levels, it does open up the door for you to learn so much more. And life becomes more intricate when you can open yourself up to other people, especially other people who may not believe what you believe. As a Christian, I have atheist friends and Muslim friends and Jewish friends and Sikh friends, and what they believe doesn't affect me because I'm grounded in me. But they're not projecting who they are onto me, and I'm not projecting who I am onto them. I'm being me and they're being them, and we're able to come to a center of mutual respect. And that's one of the things that I teach young folks when I'm working with them in my mentor programs, is being able to find a mutual positioning while making sure that your stronghold is fortified. And it doesn't have to be an aggressive way unless somebody chooses to be aggressive with you. Well, then you always want to protect yourself. But in the end, it is about growth. And growth comes from experiences. So the more experiences that we have, the more growth that we could possibly gain. And that's another thing too. And all this is dealing with self-kindness. Okay, you guys ready? Put a 1 up if you're ready for me to go through my list of ways that we can practice self-kindness. There's tons, by the way. I just chose 10. Because if I try, we could talk about it for like 4 or 5 hours. And I don't believe in staying on anybody's app longer than maybe an hour and a half, that long. And you guys, when the conversations get good, I stay a little bit longer, but then I try to get off because I wonder how some people stay on here 4, 5, 6 hours. I don't get that part. Thank you for the ones. Here we go. And while we're going through this list, make sure you tap that screen. So I saw one heart pop up. Come on, let's keep tapping that screen, guys. Okay, we got enough ones. Let's go. Thank you for the likes, but keep tapping that screen. And here, get your paper out. So ways we can practice self-kindness. So we got a list. So number 1 on the list. And if anybody wants to put it in the chat, just in case somebody might miss it, I'd appreciate that as well. The first thing is to upgrade any crappy or and useless items in your house. Upgrade the things that are just crappy and useless. Sometimes around us, we keep a lot of things that really shouldn't be there. It's time to upgrade. And now whatever the upgrade is, only you know. Look around you and say, you know what? I need to upgrade that crappy, and you fill in that ... Or you know what? That's so useless. Why am I holding on to that? Throw that away. If you have stuff in your house, if you've moved 3 or 4 times and you have stuff from like the 4th house away, you brought it to this house and you're still not using it, throw that crap out. Clear your space up. Make your space useful to you. Upgrade. And I think it's Beyonce that says, let me upgrade you. There's something to that. Because now you've given yourself something new. You've given yourself something useful. Those 2 things is a way of showing yourself kindness. Just look around you and say, why do I still have that? Now, if it has an emotional connection, if it's something that was given to you by your grandmother or great-grandmother, hold on to it. Put it up. But you can even restore that. Put it in a nice new shiny case. Make it displayable. But look at the crappy and useless stuff that you have around you and upgrade those items. Because it'll also give you a different look. And when we can see things differently, we can feel differently. When we can organize ourselves, be honest with you, when our houses are in order, don't we feel better? I know I do. My office, I ain't going to show you my office. My office needs to be clean right now. But when I have the housekeeper come, because I work from home, when the housekeeper comes and cleans up the whole house, I am not going to lie. I look around, I'm like, nice. I actually don't mind paying her. Because I ain't going to lie to you. I hate housework. I'm going to be brutally honest. I hate housework. Have since I was a kid. I would fight my mother and grandmother when they would try to get me to clean up. I would mess up when cleaning on purpose, so they would get mad and kick me out of the house. So I'd be vacuuming the same spot on purpose. And she was like, boy, you see the whole floor? And I'm like, and I drag, I do anything. I take the whipping and then clean the house. But yes, when you can upgrade the things around you. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. And the guys that are getting here, always let me know where you're coming, where you're seeing me from. That's always a good thing. All right, so number 2, here we go. Number 2, ways that we can practice self-kindness. Work on boundaries, guys. Number 2, hey, from Missouri, appreciate you. Number 2, ways that we can practice self-kindness. Work on boundaries. You are entitled to your space. You are entitled to say no. You are entitled to draw a line around yourself and say, no, I am not accepting. And do you guys, hey, from Mississippi, you guys know that no is like the shortest sentence in the world, right? And no should be in your vocabulary. Hey, Keith, could you? No. Hey, Keith, could you come and speak here tomorrow? No. Promise my daughter I'm going bowling. No. My boundaries are clear. And I don't feel bad when I practice my boundaries. I don't. Now, that arrogance came from very early age, but I was raised by 2 black women. My father and I didn't reconnect until I was 39, 16 years ago. But in that time, up until 39, I was raised by 2 women. Am I a pastor? No, sir. I am a man of God? Yes, but a pastor? No. I am what Ephesians 4 says, a real teacher. But I am not a pastor. But I appreciate that. Hey, God bless. Thank you. And so I learned no long time ago. And I don't have a problem saying no. And I don't, whether it's work, and that's the funny thing, when I was teaching, right, I would come back from trainings, and because I was always a good orator, meaning talks, person who speaks, one of my principals said, hey, Keith, hey, Belvin, could you turnkey the assignment, turnkey the stuff that we got today from the meeting? No. Are you going to pay me for that? And then they would try to hit you with the shame card. Well, don't you want to see the staff get better? That's not my job. That's your job. My job is to educate as many kids that walk through my classroom door, which I do. Staff can take care of staff. Your job is to make sure staff is well cared for. If you want me to train staff, pay me the training fee, because I do get paid when I speak, and I'll send you an invoice and we can work it out. And she said, why everything got to be about money with you? I said, it really isn't. I didn't ask you for anything. You asked me, but you never asked me what I charge. You just wanted me to do it for free. So no. So please understand that working on your boundaries is a way to form self-kindness. Because once you have your boundaries, you can work on you and you feel safe. Because when we're not in a safe state here, we're not in a safe state physically. And if we're not in a safe space physically and mentally and emotionally, we're in a bad place. And again, this is where professional counseling comes in. And if you are just getting here and this is your first time joining me, I'm here every Friday, 11:30, God willing. I don't really get on live any other time during the week. I do not try to engage on any app any longer than I have to because, one, it's not good for business, and two, I just don't like exposing myself to a whole lot of negativity. And I see a lot of negativity on all of these apps, and I tend to try to stay away from that. I'm not a fan of imposing myself into negative situations unless I was invited to come to try to heal it. I'm not there just to be nosy. I could care less, especially if I don't know you. Because the one thing I've learned about social media, being on social media since 1994, most of the time you're meeting the representative of a person online. You're not meeting the real person. So when they get exposed or you learn who they really are, the reason why you're disappointed is because you created expectations on somebody you did not know. And that's a problem. Because until I've had a chance to really interact with you one-on-one, how much do we really know? Now, we do live in a time where because of social media, we can connect with people. And that's a beautiful thing. But always be careful of somebody that you have not broken bread with or have not been in their physical presence. Don't let this thing here fool you into thinking you know somebody well when you have not been in their physical presence. You have not talked to them, touched them, been in contact with them to see who they really are. Be careful. Just be careful. All right. So we are talking about ways that we can practice self-kindness. Number 1 was upgrade crappy and useless items. Number 2 was working on boundaries. Here we go. Number 3. Big one, guys, for many of you. Ask for and accept help. As a counselor, I try to make it very clear what I do. I try to make it very clear who I am. Now, some of you, Ghostbusters, if you're going to come on live, you have to come inside the chat first. I don't let anybody come in to the box unless you've offered something in the chat. And that's for anybody. Anybody that wants to come on into the box, you're more than welcome. But you cannot come into the box if you didn't offer something in the chat. Again, I believe that's disrespectful to the people that's already here. If you're not going to engage with them or me and then just want to come straight into the box. We're not going to do that. The box is open, by the way, but you can't come in until you offered something in the chat. Oh, yeah, of course you can listen in. Of course. I just got to know. I had a guy to request for somebody to come into the box. It's not it's not you guys that's already here. We can just listen in. That works too. I'm here for it. But yes, number 3, ask for and accept help. I just saw someone say that's my biggest problem. That is a problem for a lot of folks, is that they know something's wrong, but they don't want to ask for help. And I get it. Now, this is where culture, this is where history, this is where the type of parents that you have, the environment that you live in, can all play a role in asking for help, especially to my brothers. Many of us brothers were taught to not ask for help because we deemed it weak. It is not. It is never weak to allow positive assistance to happen. You went to school. Why? Because teachers knew something and they taught you something. You held on to it. It helped make you. You're a preacher's kid? Or a project? Is it PJ meaning project kid or PK meaning preacher's kid? Because we have to understand that often the way that we were raised affects how we behave. And especially for us men, whether we had our fathers or not. If we had our fathers, some of our fathers said, stop all that crying, stop all that whining. If we only had women in our lives, you better stop acting soft. I'm a project kid too, so that's why I was asking. I understand. And again, your environment is going to have a lot to do with how you behave. There's just certain things you can't do in the hood because you perceive soft, it could get you killed. So your history, your experiences has a lot to do with your behavior. So when I give you number 3, which is ask for and accept help, well, for many of us, the reason why we can't is because of what we were taught. Now, that is where you have to be brave enough to go, I am going to take a chance and step out here. But understand that if you had a bad experience, don't give up. See, I'm a good counselor. I have no problem saying that. But that doesn't mean I'm the counselor for you. My style doesn't work for everybody, especially my church folks. Woo, they say I play too much. And I do. It's okay. I've had one side, how you serving God and you play so much? God laughed too. Jesus laughed too. Jesus smiled too. He even cried too. Because the thing is, I don't get offended if I'm not your cup of tea. It's okay. The question is, keep pushing. If you need help, get it. I gave you the side eye when you said that. When I said what? You have to let me know the context so I know what it is. And that's another thing too, guys. If you're not clear, ask. I have no problem with asking for clarity or something before I speak because I don't want to, 1, embarrass myself, and 2, I don't want to sound stupid. Oh, number 3. Okay, I got you. Because asking for and accepting help, right, is tough. And I'm going to tell you why. I've had people come to a counseling session and struggle with telling me what's wrong. But here's what I give them credit for. They came. And we'll work on it. Because a good counselor, hey, what's going on there, Sam? How we doing, Sam? Good to see you. A good counselor understands that you need time. Now, a good counselor also is not going to sit there and just let you sulk about and act silly either. I'm going to hold that mirror up for you. And there are going to be times I have to make you uncomfortable to get out what we need to get out. Case in point, I'll give you an example. When you hire a trainer, right? And if you came to the gym and the trainer said, go work out. What am I paying you for? And if the trainer says, okay, let me show you something. And he shows you and says, now go work out. If you say, I don't know how to do it. If the trainer knows that you do know how to do it, that trainer may say, no, I need to see you do it. Now, here's where you have to fight with yourself. Now it comes to, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to fail. I don't want to look silly. A good trainer understands that. But if a good trainer is paying attention to you, they also realize that what you may need is no assistance. Sometimes the best help is to offer you none. Because there's some things you have to do for the true help to take hold. So that's why I broke it into 2 parts. Asking for help is one big step. Accepting the help is another major step. Because many of you will say, yeah, I want help. And we'll pay for a session. And then literally ghost me, say nothing, or do none of the work that we just agreed you need to do. And accepting help isn't just listening to me, guys. Accepting help is saying to myself, I am going to do the things that we talked about because I believe it will help me get better. That is self-kindness. Keep tapping that screen. Let's see those hearts go. Let's see a running thing of hearts on the side there. Keep tapping that screen as we talk. And those are like applause for me. I like that. Okay, so now, and if you just got here, please let me know where you're checking in from. And what we're talking about is ways to practice self-kindness. We're on a list. I have 3 already. I'll go over the list if you've missed anything, so don't worry about it. Number 4. Here we go, guys. Number 4. And I want you to be honest with me with number 4, right? Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. And you fill in whatever you want behind that. Treat yourself. When's the last time you did something good just for you? I don't care what it is. Went on a trip. Hell, bought a slice of chocolate cake. Bought those new shoes. When's the last time you treated yourself? Thank you, Ellie. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for putting it in the chat for me. And the guys, there go those hearts. They picking up. Come on, let's tap that screen on the side there. treat yourself. When is the last time you treated yourself? Let me ask you that question, just real quick. Throw something in the chat that you treated yourself to within the last, we'll go month. I'm not going to put anybody on blast. Last month, put something in the chat that you treated yourself to. Just for you. I don't care if it was just something decadent, like a chocolate cake that you knew you shouldn't have had. Something that you treated yourself to. A movie, dinner. Something that you treated yourself to. A new rose. Yes, we're adults. Or you call... I don't know how you wear out a rose, first of all. If you wore out a rose, I tip my hat to you. You's a a new outfit. And brothers, if you ever talk to a woman and she says she wore out a rose, buckle up. You better be ready. She ain't gonna play with you. Let's see. We got a seafood boil. I love it. A new outfit. Love it. Handbag and new shoes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. What have I treated myself to? I bought myself a new phone. And you know what's funny is? I bought the phone like 3 weeks ago, right? It's still sitting right here. Here's the case. Here's the phone. And I still haven't hooked it up. I don't like throwing away stuff that's still useful. But my wife is like, boy, get a new phone. I'm like, okay, so I got the phone. So, Gap, when we talk about asking for help and accepting it, I got myself something, but I have not used it yet. I do plan to this coming week to set the phone up. Don't ask me why. I like this. I got a Motorola phone, and I bought a new Motorola phone. And it's a great phone, but it's lagging a little bit. And because I'm doing more online and I need to have a faster processor for the things that I do, especially with my counseling sessions, when I'm in motion, I had to get a better phone so I could actually, when I do my mobile calls, and so I had to get a better phone. But I've been digging this one. But yes, I hear that. So let's go. Anybody else? How have you treated yourself in the last month? Come on, let's talk about that. How have you treated yourself? And I love the seafood boil. What is your favorite seafood, Gap? I got king crab legs coming today, about 4 pounds. My wife and daughter will lose their mind. I get tired of them after a while. After about the first 10 or 15 minutes, there's only so much crab and butter that you can have. I then try to figure out what type of dishes I'm going to make with them, but my wife never lets me get to that point. She loses her mind, and so I try to make crab cakes. I try to have some fun. That's another thing I've been doing now. I've been doing a lot of cooking at home, so... Nah, it's not too much. I'm gonna tell you, Megan, it's not too much when they're king crabs because they're big and you cut them, and we have scissors. But I think the ones I got have actually already been cut, so it's easy. Just pull them open. Once you season them with what you want, it's easy. But here's the funny thing for me: I can't go back to blue crabs anymore. I can't eat blue crabs. I actually don't even eat snow crabs anymore. I just can't deal with the little ones anymore. So I just eat the bigger ones, and that's it. Get a handsaw. No, you don't need a handsaw. Regular pair of scissors, just cooking scissors. And the funny thing with the bigger ones, they're actually easy to cut. But one of the ways that I cook them is before I warm them up, I use like a garlic butter with a little either Tony's or Slap Your Mama mixed in Cajun seasoning. Melt the butter. I pour it over them before I put them in the oven because they're already cooked. You just want to heat them up. You don't want to heat them up too long because you don't want it to become rubbery. What I do is I cut them into smaller pieces before I even put them in the oven to warm up. So I literally have a tray of like much smaller pieces. No, I can prepare them. I'm actually, okay, so you already go. Not your preference. Okay, I got you, Megan. Got you. What state are you in, Megan? I can't tell a chef how to do it. A chef already knows. That's what I'm talking about. What state are you in, Megan? Thank you for letting us know. No, seriously, they're tiny hands. Oh, okay, really? See, thank you. You teaching me something for big crab legs. Now I got to look up Birmingham. Okay. Now I got to look up tiny hand saws. Here we go. Now I think I'm be treating myself. I think my wife will like that too. I don't get them that often. Yes, they are expensive, but I don't get them that often. It's more like a treat. And normally it'll be for birthdays, holidays, something like that. Or just, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I just might be in the mood. I normally go to Sam's Club. I can get them from Sam's Club, but they didn't have them. So I just decided to get them from Alaskan king crab. I normally go to Sam's Club and have no problem with them. And they're actually already cut at Sam's Club, which makes it easier. Okay, so we left off at number 4, treat yourself. All right, here we go. Number 5. And again, I want to thank you guys for checking in. If this is your first time here, I am Keith K.L. Belbin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, educational consultant. I'm an author, father, husband. I do a lot of things. More importantly, God allows me to be here every Friday at 11:30. I come on, and what I do when I come on is to try to engage you, have a conversation with you, and just try to be able to answer your questions, as well as I get a kick out of you guys checking in and telling me where you are watching me from. So I appreciate you. And again, tap that screen. Let's get those hearts up. Let's try to get to 10,000 hearts, and then we'll take it from there. Keep tapping the screen. Let's get to 10,000 likes. Okay, so number 5. Here we go. Let's get back on focus. Number 5, right? And I'm going to go back over the list because we're pretty much at the halfway point. So once I give this one, I'll go back over the list and catch everybody up. I see the hearts. There we go. Number 5 is take time out. Guys, one of the ways that you can practice self-kindness is to take time out. Whatever that looks like. Staycation at a hotel for a weekend, an actual vacation where you get away, you lock yourself in the house with a good book or a good movie and you want to vibe out on Netflix or whatever. I love audiobooks, so for me, and I'm a comic book junkie. I collect Marvel and DC and a couple other comic creators. I collect graphic novels, so I'm just a big Marvel fan. I'm looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And so I will just sit and vibe out and look at my comics and stuff like that. But yeah, take time out. It is okay to step out of the world and into a nice, quiet, comfortable bubble that you create. Take time away from work. Do not be scared to use sick days. Do not be scared to call in. Check this out. If you leave this planet tomorrow, that job will find somebody else to take your spot. Do not ever be scared to take time off for you to get you right. Even God rested. Thank you, Mega. Come on with it. And he didn't have to. That was for us. Just said, let me sit back and look at what I did. How many of us take time out to look and go, I'm not in a good place, or I'm in a pretty good place? When we take time out, let me tell you how this is a great form of self-kindness, right? When you take time out, it gives you a chance to truly reflect. And you can look around and kind of go, I don't like where I'm at, or I like where I'm at. Either one can be motivation for change. If you don't like where you're at, well, that's motivation to change it. If you like where you're at, then that's motivation to sustain it. So now you have motivation, but sometimes we have to slow the world down by taking the time ourselves. To ourselves, too. Now, if you want to include other people, that's fine. I'll give you something that I did in one of my business groups, right? One of my literary business groups, because I am an author. I've written 6 books. I'm working on 3 others, and I've contributed to 7 other anthologies, as well as a lot of national magazines. Okay, enough on the flex. Here's one of the things that I did in my business group, right? We would get together for an hour. It was a work session, right? We would get together for an hour. Everybody would turn on their Zoom cameras. No talking. What we said at the beginning is, what are you going to be working on? So I would say, I'm working on my new book, 12 Steps to Recover from a Toxic Relationship. And everybody would talk about what they're going to work on, right? And then at that moment, the host would hit the timer. We did it for an hour. Nobody talked. Everybody worked on whatever they said they were working on for an hour. But the reason why the cameras was on was a way to hold ourselves accountable to what we said we were going to do for self, but also to hold each other accountable because we all knew our cameras were on. And in that hour, I wound up getting so much work done because I knew other people were working. I didn't want to let them down. I didn't want to look silly. That was motivation for me to get on top of what I was doing. Self-assessments are imperative. Yes, Mega, come on now. We have to do it. And that's why we have to take that time out, because in that time out, we can do the self-assessments. Actually, in one of my books called Our Bond is Our Gift, I talk about that when reinventing yourself, you have to reflect, because how else do you know what it is that you need or don't need, or what you're willing to give up, or whatever you're going to do? You have to take that self-assessment. And as a counselor, I perform assessments all the time. I have assessments. Actually, the Google form that I use when you first reach out to me is a form of assessment. But then I do a DISC personality assessment because I want you to understand what your personality anchors are, what your personality traits are, because we're going to build on those. And as an educator, as a former educator, I did assessments on a regular. Actually, that's what my first master's degree is in: curriculum writing, assessments, and teaching. Because you have to write the lessons, you have to assess if they're working or not working, and then you got to be able to teach. And this is what I do. And another thing, too, is being able to disseminate information in a way that people can absorb it, where they're not confused or feeling lesser, because that doesn't help them either. And that's another reason why I don't come on every day and flood the apps with me being on. No. When I come on, I want to be able to pour into somebody. Okay? So I gave you 5. Let me go back over to 5 to anybody that might have got here late. And what we're talking about is ways we can practice self-kindness. Number 1 was upgrade crappy or useless items. Okay? Number 2, work on boundaries. Number 3, ask for and accept help. Number 4, treat yourself. Number 5, take time out. And shout out to Ellie, who's been writing all of those down for me. So thank you. I wrote them on your platform. Hey, I thank you for being here. I do. It is never about the numbers. It is about the substance. The numbers will take care of themselves. And that's something, as my business coach and I say, it only takes one person to change your whole life. I don't chase numbers. Never have. Give you a quick little story before I get the next 5. I reached out to a person inboxed, right? Because I thought what they were talking about, or what they were going to be talking about in an upcoming live, I thought fit my lane very well. So I reached out to the person and I said, hey, I would love to be able to join your live. Can I be one of the people that you have in your panel? Because I noticed that when I came by your live the other day, you don't let anybody in other than the panel that's there, and everybody listens. I would love, as a professional, to come into your panel. He went, looked at my page. I think I had 4,000 people at that time. He said, you don't have enough people following you to get into my box to have a conversation. Really? And I said, why does the number of people following me, how does that have anything to do with my experience and my knowledge of what I bring to the table for the ones that will be there? He said, what can you really bring to the table if you only got 4,000 people following you? I said, okay, I appreciate the question. I said, well, I don't use social media like that, but I do have a practice. I do have a publishing company, and I taught for 22 years, as well as I counsel men, women, and I have a government contract and a state contract where I help people figure out things that are wrong. And I think if you add up the number of people that I have associated myself with professionally, it's got to be about 30, 40, maybe 50,000 people that I have actually been in contact with in real life. And this is exactly what he said, and I thought it was interesting. He said, I hear what you're saying, but this is TikTok, and I ain't trying to hear all that. Okay, thank you. And here's how you can call it karma, you can call it God, you can call it whatever you like. I just know that the universe balances itself out, whether you believe it or not. Another person invited me about 3 weeks later. They actually reached out to me. I was sitting here and they said, hey, Keith, can you come into this live? Because we're having a conversation about men and women and stuff like that. And I was like, sure. So when I came in, who you think was in the live with me? Him. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to embarrass. I don't put names out. I don't feel it's needed to disrespect anyone. When we were in the live together, I don't cut off anybody. I normally just wait until it's my turn. But when I come, I'm bringing information. I'm bringing gems. I'm bringing knowledge. I'm not bringing ego. I'm not being braggadocious. I'm going to bring experiences because if I can change the life of one person listening, I did my job. So the crazy part was people was digging what I was saying. Cool. He reaches out to me in the inbox and says, hey, brother, you think you can come by my live? Because I do live, da-da-da. And I'm like, you don't even remember that you spoke to me. And then I said, no, that's impossible because in our inbox, it has our conversation. So you're not even going to acknowledge that you were wrong. But now because you heard me speak and other people were digging me, you now want to use me. Nah, brother, I'm good. But I wish you well. And I explained it to him. I never leave somebody without knowing why I did something that I did. I said, I'm not comfortable with how and why you changed your position on me. I don't know if I want to represent that on your page, but I wish you well. We've never talked again. And those are the boundaries that I said in number 2, guys. You have to be okay with you. You have to have a certain idea of who you are. And thank you so much, Steph. I saw the compliment. I appreciate you. You have to have an idea of who you are, because that is another form of self-kindness, is understanding what you will and will not do. And that is number 2, your boundaries. All right, keep tapping that screen, guys. We're almost at 10. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Keep tapping that screen. All right, here we go. Number 6. All right. Number 6 on the list of ways that we can practice self-kindness: upgrade your space. It might be time to expand the office. It might be time to get a new apartment, if that is affordable. It might be time to just move, expand your space. It might be time to knock down a wall or 2 in your house if you own one. It might be time to get yourself out of a small venue that you're in and move to a bigger venue. Now might be the time to take that chance. Now might be the time to jump off that cliff and go, I'm going to expand my territory. Let's go. Thank you, Ellie. Expand your space. And again, this is why we can't do it by ourselves. We need other people in our lives to help us, because we can't be expected to do all this by ourselves. But when you expand your space, you open up the door for other people to come and rock with you, and vice versa. Especially when trying to find the space or what is that you want to do in the space. I bowl, right? Like, so tonight I bowl. I have a whole team that I'm connected to, but also on that team are people who own different businesses. We have one guy who's a detailer. We have another guy who owns his construction space. And when my wife and I were looking at a new house last year, but thank God we did not buy, by the way, the prices are coming down. My partner was like, when you get the house, let me know. I'll come by and go back over what the inspector might have missed. Cool. If you don't expand your spaces, well, then you leave out opportunities to expand how you talk to other people. So how do we ask you a question for help on an issue? Well, you can ask it here while we're on live, or you can always go to my bio, click on my link, and you'll see where it says, you can always come in the box. Yeah, come on. The box is always open to anybody who offers anything in the chat. If you don't offer anything in the chat, I do not allow you to come up into the box. But yeah, if you've offered something in the chat, come on. I'm here. If you have a question that you'd like to ask me directly, come on. Please be respectful as always. It's where if you have 1,000 people, let me see. Do you have 1,000 people? Let me see, because you need 1,000 people to go live. No, you don't have 1,000 people. You need 1,000 people to go live here on TikTok. So one of the things that you would need to do is reach out to me, go to my bio, and you can actually, there's a discovery form. Click on the discovery form, and you can fill that out. And that way you'd be able to, or my email is there too. If you go to my link tree, my email is there. Just click on it. Send me the question. I don't ignore anybody. Now, I can't get to it right when I get it, but I try to within 24 to 48 hours. I try to reach back to anybody who reaches out to me. My assistant will normally catch stuff if I miss it, but most of the time you're speaking to me. I'm not that big where I need a whole lot of people, but I have people that help me, of course. I have assistants and other folks, but for the most part, I still like to be involved in what's going on. So, or just hit me in the inbox, Steph. Just hit my inbox and just say, hey, I was on the live with you. Can I ask you this question? Because the Q&A is open for that too. So that's number 6. Okay, here we go. Number 7. All right. Number 7 ways that we can practice self-kindness. Compassion over criticism. Be compassionate with yourself, guys. Don't beat yourself up. Don't criticize yourself harshly, but don't offer compassion to yourself, grace to yourself. The box is, it's where at the bottom where it says guest on the live right here, but you need to have 1,000 people to be able to get into, to ask a live question, Steph. On this app, you need 1,000 followers to be able to get into any of the live streams to actually speak to anyone live. I'm sorry. Unlike the other app, FB, I don't want to say the name because then they tend to take down your stuff over here, which is foolish. But over on the other sites, you can do it automatically, but they don't let you do it here. So you have to have 1,000 people. Thank you, Ellie. Number 6 is compassion over criticism. And in the book, that is actually one of the areas that I have where I say offer yourself patience and grace. You have to be compassionate with yourself. And often we're super hard on ourselves. And I get it. I'm a hard critic on myself, especially when I'm bowling. I am very hard on myself when I mess up. But what I don't do is hold on to it. After about 5 or 10 minutes of kicking my own behind, I take a deep breath and then life goes on. That is me. I am able to do that. I know that a lot of people can't. I have talked to some people where they say, well, 3 years ago when my sister did X, Y, Z, really? You still holding on to it 3 years ago? And here's the reason why you have to offer yourself compassion over criticism, right? Often we will criticize ourselves for things that we did so hard that we block any vision of what could be the cure. We're so stuck on the rainy day that the umbrella's right there next to us. Oh, how could it rain today? I had plans. I was going to wash my car. Umbrella right there. Now I can't walk up the block. Now, umbrella right there. You don't always have to be hard on yourself. Firm, yes. To the point that you criticize yourself into a position where you can't move? No. Offer yourself compassion. Learn what that feels like. Because when you have somebody, if you allow somebody into your life, you want to be able to express to them what you need. Hey, what's going on? I haven't been called cue ball since I was in junior high school. Okay, that was slick. Well, gotcha. I guess he said, I want to come in and get blocked. Take care, buddy. But yeah, you don't want to be that situation. I like that too. I'm a sexy cue ball though. Ain't a lot of dudes out here with the salt and pepper and the cue ball look. They don't rock it like I do. But I appreciate you, Jose. So anyway. But yeah, number 7, compassion over criticism. And again, we're talking about ways that we can practice self-kindness. Hey, where them hearts at? I don't see any hearts. Come on, guys. Let's go keep tapping hearts. We're almost at 10,000. Let's keep it going. Come on. Let's keep it going. All right. The next one might be lengthy because I got to cover a couple of parts of it. Thank you so much. There you go. Number, where we at, Ellie? Is that number 8? I think we're at number 8, right, Ellie? I want to make sure. Yeah, because I didn't write the numbers down. Yeah, it's number 8. Okay. Number 8. Listen to your body. Now, often we choose to ignore our bodies, right? Listen to your body. Now, here's what you're listening for. You're listening to the physical responses to things, the mental responses, which is how we think, the emotional responses, how we feel. And then we also have to look at how our body responds to other people. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. Listen to how you respond to physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual or /social, depending on which it is for you. What the feedback is from those 4 areas, how it affects. Listen to your body. Look at what your body does when it is physically touched or in certain environments or certain situations. Listen to how your body reacts to certain thoughts. Look at how your body reacts to certain feelings. Look at how your body reacts to other people. That's your social circles. Got you, Joy. And also how you react from a spiritual positioning. For many of us who are in a spiritual dynamic, we're automatically connecting people in a spiritual mindset. So again, in some books you will see it spiritual. Some books it'll say social. Either one, it's how you react with other people. But check. Your body will send messages to you and we ignore them. And okay, put a 1 in the chat, right? Here we go. Like I said, this is a little lengthy. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever said, I just thought about that when it comes to dealing with somebody, but you ignored it. Or you got a feeling about something and you completely ignored it. Your body told you everything that you needed, but you ignored it. Come on now. I better see everybody putting 1s up. I'll put mine up too. Our body has built-in sensors. Built-in sensors that let us know when something's not right, somebody's not right, something ain't feeling right, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. This young lady need to go home. This young man need to go home. Whatever your situation is. I think depending on when we get those feelings, it creates a problem. Because some of us feel that we are committed because we said yes. Check this out. A no can show up at any time. I don't care what I committed to. If I get a certain feeling about something, no it is. Then there's the great regret. Yeah, we all have regrets if we did not think it all the way through, and then now we have to do that after the fact. But and I forgot, you gave me your name. And can you give me your name again, Ms. Molly? You gave me your name, and I had it written down on my other paper, and I apologize. You just like a car, check engine. Yes, thank you, Mega. That's it. When that check engine light on, you can keep driving if you want to. Romania, there we go. There we go. Gotcha, Romania. I knew. Gotcha. Romina, there we go. I remember now. I had to write that down. Listen, I'm older now. I'm 55. And I started noticing I just ain't as sharp as I used to be. Man, I'm not going to start taking Ginkgo. That's what they tell you. But I'll keep reading. I'll keep sharp the old-fashioned way. But yes, just like the check engine light. And it's physical, right? Physical is the actual touch and interaction, physical interaction with somebody. Mental is how you think. Emotional is how you feel. They're not the same thing. I just sent one homeless is the address. However, it was 15 months. The plan was 30 days. Okay, Queen, I'm missing something. I just sent one homeless. Clean that up for me so I can respond to it the right way. And I don't know who Kevin is, Steph, and I hate that. It's Keith. I'm just messing with you, but that is one of my pet peeves. It's Keith, not Kevin. And it's been going on since third grade. People see Keith and they call me Kevin. It drives me crazy. I'm in a great relationship with the greatest guy, and I want to marry him, but he seems reluctant, I guess was the rest that you're going to write. That's a conversation you have to have, Steph. You have to have that conversation. You have to understand is, if he's reluctant, why? Where is the reluctance? Why is he reluctant? Where is his hesitation coming from? It's okay. I like messing with folks. I get called Kevin all the time. I hope when an officer stops to write me a ticket, he writes Kevin on it, and I'm guaranteed to beat it. Who's Kevin? You said put them out. Okay, yeah. Sometimes, yes, thank you. Gotcha. I thought you were going there, Queen, but I always want clarity because I want to make sure I'm giving the proper information. If we got to remove people from our lives, don't hesitate from that. It is necessary. And don't feel bad because if you did it for the right reasons. Now, if you feel bad because you weren't sure and you just said, hey, I'm going to throw some stuff against the wall, be careful. Think major decisions through. That is the reason why we go back to taking time out. You need to make sure that you are rested, that you make solid decisions. In the Bible, in the prodigal son, the father said, wait, let me go sleep on it and I'll make my decision in the morning. And in the morning, he said, okay, son, here's your money, go. And I argue that in the scripture of the prodigal son, he gave him the money because it would have been dangerous to keep him around the house. Once somebody shows you that the rules do not apply and they want what they want, time to separate. Because at that point, what are they capable of? Anything. It was a time shows was a friend who asked, could he stay at my home for 30 days? Listen, once boundaries are crossed, once a person is willing to break the rules on whatever level, you got to be careful. You have to be careful. But what if he bolts? If he bolts, it wasn't meant for you anyway. You can't control how somebody's going to react to an honest conversation, Steph. If he bolts, then that's a sign that you weren't with somebody who felt the same way as you. You can't be afraid of losing something that you can't control. You can't control anyone's feelings. You can only control yours. And if you are honest about your feelings and that's not enough or that scares a person off, then you have to understand the reality is that person wasn't ready. The question becomes, are you pushing it because you're pushing it? Or are you pushing it because he has said to you, it seems all the right way? Didn't know, she didn't tell she was homeless, that I am Muslim. Okay. And that's a conversation that you have to sit down and be like, okay, listen, if you got to go, you got to go. We said 30 days. Nope. Never be afraid of losing a person because you can't stop that anyway. All you can be is a loving individual. All you can be is a caring person. All you can do is offer the best you. If that's not enough for somebody, then you open the door for them. You let them go. I just wanted you to know I'm not a Christian because, oh no, it's okay. I'm just mentioning where I'm coming from with the Bible. I understand. I wasn't saying anybody had to be one. I got you. I was just giving the story. I normally don't talk scriptural based stuff in general lives. I don't do that because it then puts anybody that doesn't have the scriptural understanding of it at a disadvantage. So I don't do it. But in the story of the prodigal son, the son wanted his inheritance, which he was only supposed to get when the father passed. And he knew the rules. And the father was like, okay, you know what? Let me think about it. The father went, slept on it, prayed on it. And the next morning he gave him his inheritance, even though the rule was he was supposed to get it when the father died. And the father said, you know what? Here you go. And one of the things that we can take from that is that sometimes you have to let someone go from our lives simply because they've already shown you that the rules don't matter. And once a person's shown you that the rules don't matter, it's better just to let them go. No matter what the faith is. Because at that point, what can you trust? How can you trust somebody who clearly, if the rules were in place for a reason? Now, if they're breaking the rules and they give you a sound reason why, that's cool. Some rules, as they say, were made to be broken. I have the information I was going to preach as a Christian until I read my books and now know. Okay, if that works. They got a lot of folks. I have that conversation often, especially with a lot of the friends that I have who are atheists. They're like, they started off as Christians and said, you know what, I just came to a realization that the faith doesn't work for me. And I respect that. I respect anybody's spiritual choice or their lack of. If they go, I don't believe in anything. Okay. I'll still rock and have some tea with you, drink a beer with you, and talk with you, play bowling with you, play ball with you. What a person believes doesn't affect me in any way. I'll root for you just as well. Listen. So, and I think we got to be able to have those conversations, be able to come to the table open and honest, because again, it's where the learning happens. It's where we can really get to an understanding of each other. All right, number 9. Let's get back to this. Here we go. Number 9. Yes, it is 10 things. Of the 10 ways that we can practice self-kindness, we are on number 9. I will go back over the list when we are done. Shout out to Ellie, who has been rocking with me. I was a Christian in my life, didn't say I didn't work. God is everywhere. Okay, yeah, I got you. You'll have no argument from me there. I agree. All right, here we go. Number 9. Let yourself have some fun, guys. Let yourself have some fun. Do things that you enjoy. Number 9 is let yourself have fun. Number 9, let yourself have fun. What do you enjoy? Self-kindness is doing the things that you enjoy. I enjoy bowling. I bowl Wednesday morning, Friday night, and I bowl in tournaments. Have not been that successful in some of the tournaments. I'm getting there. Yes, because religion has been used to kill people in time of their beliefs. And you'll have no argument from that. There's no disagreement there. That's what they did. I don't, and that's why I don't converse about it in these spaces. There's no, people kill everybody for tons of things, but religion has been a major one. No disagreement there. History proves that. And that is, again, why self-kindness is necessary, because by practicing self-kindness, it will allow us to look at who's in our surroundings. If we need to change certain circles, even if it isn't on a faith-based, even in your faith-based situations, you can still practice self-kindness. But if you have to remove yourself from folks who are within your faith that's not helping you get to a better place, you must do so. But let yourself have fun. Again, let me ask everybody, put it in the group. Last 30 days, what have you done for fun? Me, on Saturday, I bowled in my first seniors tournament. Woo! I'm a senior. That's 55 and older for the non-bowlers. I bowled in my first 55 and older tournament. I am officially older. But again, give me something that you guys have done for fun. Let me see what we have here. Now I have been single for 6 years. I'm a little older than you. However, the men's got game. Yeah, they do. Older men, younger men, they all do. They have game. That's why the only way to protect yourself from game is to make sure you are clear on you. I teach that as a dude who used to be a super whore. I wasn't just an ordinary whore. I was an outstanding whore. I had to learn to be a new me. Did not come easy. And there was prices to pay for that behavior too. Even wrote a book about it called From Gigolo to Jesus, where I talk about my behavior and what it took to change. For fun, I get paid for it. For fun, I get paid for it. I sing. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Modern dance classes. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing wrong with that. I participated in my first Harvard Fest with my peer preserving in my indoor plant. Let's go. Okay. I love singing to Me Too, and I'm learning my name is Mamadou. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I quit my job at General Motors, been using my gift that God gave me. I get paid for it. Let's go. When you can get paid for your gifts, you are doing your thing. Do you know I get paid for my gift, which is speaking? And right here in my house, I work from home. I work from home. I leave on Tuesday and Thursday to head up to the school to run the after school program that I created. But for the most part, I work from home. I'm good. And I get paid to talk. I get paid to teach, and I get paid to create with my mouth. I love it. I asked for this, by the way. But yes, and I serve because my job is to try to help as many people as possible. So I am using my godly gifts while getting paid for it. No better feeling in the world. So shout out to you, Mega. I like that. I feed my birds. What kind of birds, Steph? It makes me happy. I'm a widow on a fixed income. Not a lot of extra income. I got you. What kind of birds, Steph, are you feeding? And do you have feeders, or are you just putting the food out there and letting them show up for it? Do you have feeders? Cardinals. Oh, man. Those are great birds. They bite. I did not know cardinals actually bite. I had no idea cardinals will actually bite. But actually, I think all birds will bite when they're protecting their young, I believe. You would probably know more than me, Steph. I have shows and get paid for my singing. I have worked. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. I love it. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. That's my goal, is to work from home. It's not easy. Let me tell you one thing. It's not easy because you got to remember that you're not home. You actually are working. 7 feeders. I don't know that either. I didn't know that. I've actually, and I used to live, when I was born in New York, but I used to live in South Jersey, and a lady used to feed Blue Jays and Cardinals. They come at different seasons, I guess. I don't know. I remember her telling me. But she's like, cardinals will actually attack other animals as a way to kind of get them away. And I was like, cardinals? Those are like the cutest birds on the planet. But yeah, it was cardinals and blue jays. 2 of the greatest looking birds, by the way, if you ever get a chance to just catch one just sitting there. Regal red and regal blues. Fantastic colors, those 2 birds. So shout out to you, Steph, with the feeders. I like that. I have a Western Terrier. He's a great dog. Yes. I have a Jack Russell Chihuahua. Intelligent and angry at the same time. Go figure. He thinks he's 75 pounds. Brother's about this big. And when I'm out walking him, he's trying to take on bigger dog. I'm like, bro, if you get us bit, I will beat you down. He out there with his chest puffed out. I'm like, bro, you not bigger than my shoes. If you don't sit your behind down. But anyway, yes. So I love it. I love anybody else. Please put up what you do for fun. And again, let me tell you, anybody that's reading the chat, right? Listen to folks who are saying, I'm doing what I enjoy and I'm getting paid for it. There's ways to do that. I didn't believe that. I stopped working for anybody in 2019. September 17th, 2019 was the last time I worked for anybody. I decided enough was enough. I had already owned my publishing company, but it was okay, but it wasn't making a whole lot of money. I decided I'm going to go ahead and be a full-time consultant and counselor, and I'm going to make this happen on my own. And so, yeah, that was the last time I worked for anybody. Last 2 years, I've had my best 2 years ever, and that's even after leaving teaching in New York after 20-something years. And I was able to make 6 figures by putting in the work. It's not easy, but it's doable. But you have to have strong circles. You have to have good coaching. And you have to be prepared on how you're going to deal with the down times, the negatives. So this list that I'm giving you is going to be necessary. I'm going to get to the last one in a second, right? I've had those birds eating food out of my window. They start, yes, they do. And crows will bring you a gift. If you feed crows, they will fly out and pick up something and bring it to you and drop it at your wherever you're feeding them, they'll bring you a gift. It might be something crazy like a straw, a piece of paper, or whatever, but crows will bring you a gift as a way to say thank you for feeding them. I'm willing. I'm writing a self-help book and writing plays, 3 which was packed. But okay. Director Erica Goings. Okay, cool. Picked by Erica Goings. Cool. I love it. Listen, I'm working on this book right here. The 12 Steps to Recovering from a Toxic Relationship. I'm finishing up the other 2 books that I had started and put on the shelf. One is called Lukewarm Saint 2. Fox in the Hen House. It's inspirational fiction. I wrote the first one, Lukewarm Saint. And I'm doing another self-help book as well. So I have 3 books I'm going to finish this year. I had put my writing on hold, and my mentor, well, friend, he's not even a mentor, we're just friends. He challenged me. He's over in Italy. He said, Keith, why'd you stop writing? I said, I didn't. I said, I had a new book that I just was a part of. He said, no, you contributed to that. Why are you not writing books anymore? And you know what, guys? I honestly didn't have an answer. I had been focused on everything else that my love for writing disappeared. That's my own fault. Well, I'm regaining my love for writing, and I'm going to put out 3 books this year. Have it on my wall here. I got a ton of stuff on my walls here. But that's me paying myself the self-kindness. This will be my first book. I want a mentor, need one. Get into the literary circles, Mega. Make sure that you get into literary circles. Groups on Facebook, groups here on TikTok, groups on LinkedIn is another good one. Clubhouse is another good one. Get into circles with other authors. Clubhouse has a lot of great author circles because you want to be able to listen to a lot of the mistakes that authors were made. That will save you a lot of time and a lot of money. And you can always hit me up on my inbox if you have questions or whatever, because when I did my first book in 2007, everyone said, don't do poetry. I said, okay. I did me in terms of, instead of trying to sell a poetry book, I sold me as the person behind the poetry. I chose three poems, and I became well known for those 3 poems. And people bought the books as a way to support, because most people don't buy poetry books, but they wanted to support who I was and what I did. That allowed them to rock with me and purchase my books, which then opened up the door. I won a couple of awards, and it got me known by other people. And then I started getting invited. I got invited to write other things. So I've been a part of 7 anthologies that I've been able to offer my words to. And the one that I just wrote for, we just won an award in 3 different categories. So I'm an award-winning author, and now I'm part of an award-winning documentary. So you can do it, Mega. Just put your mind to it and be prepared to grind. And remember, no one wants to buy a book just because. They want to get to know you. They want to understand who you are. And they want to understand how this book helps them. We know it's going to help you if they buy it from you. You made the sale. When I mentioned my book, From Gigolo to Jesus, I use that as a way to help men to be able to understand what I used to be. But I also use it because my target clients are women between the ages of 40 and 70. I am now trying to help the type of women that I used to do negative when I was out in these streets. I now am the shepherd, not the wolf. So my book, From Gigolo to Jesus, is a way for them to see what I was when I was the wolf. And also it allows them to see me as the shepherd that I am now. I can't be that unless why would a woman buy my book if I don't allow her to understand who is the man behind writing it? Oh, listen, right. Listen, we got stories to tell. Somebody out there wants to hear your story, Angina. And if I said that right, and if I said it wrong, please forgive me, because I hate messing up people's names. All right, let's get to number 10, and I will gladly engage in the conversation. I got a good couple of minutes. I'm here. I normally go to about 1, a little after 1. So number 10 on the list of 10 ways that we can practice self-kindness. Number 1 was upgrade crappy and useless items. Number 2 was work on our boundaries. Number 3, ask for and accept help. Number 4 was treat yourself. Number 5 was take time out. Number 6 was upgrade your space. Number 7 was compassion over criticism. Number 8 was listen to your body. Number 9, let yourself have fun. And the last one of the 10 things that I'm giving you for today on ways to practice self-kindness is, and there's no drum roll, recognize your achievements. And Gina, okay, I got you. Recognize your achievements, no matter how small. Number 10, Ellie, Recognize your achievements, no matter how small. Your achievements let you know you are able to get something done. Do not minimize that. Do not shrink it away. Say, well, I once run a poetry contest, but it was only like 10, there was only like 5 other poets. So, no, you won. You were the best poet that day. Yeah, I used to be a chef, but I only cooked for like 6 people. It really wasn't nothing big. No, 6 people paid you to cook for them. That's a great thing. Yeah, I wrote a story in high school, but only one person read it. They loved it, but no, that's one person. And if that one person went out to now be a Fortune 500 president, he may remember you, it or her. It does not matter. Recognize your achievements, no matter how small. Poke your chest out a little bit. Yeah, I once did that. In the YMCA, I was the greatest basketball player ever. And then when the pros walked in, I left. I kept my record intact. LeBron and them walked in, I left. That's how I stayed undefeated. I never played anybody who could beat me. No, I played college ball. And as an undersized, number 2, work on boundaries, yes. As an undersized big man, it was always funny because the guys were always taller than me, but I had a lot of heart. And I had big elbows. So I'm going to make you work. So those are the 10 ways, guys. Now, self-kindness is number 11 in my book. And I actually say in that chapter, be kind to yourself, practice self-kindness. Some of these on this list will be in the book. Because I am working on a book, 12 Steps to Recover from Toxic Relationship. The other book I'm working on is part 2 to my Lukewarm Saint series. And the other one is the self-help book, is an extension from my memoir, From Gigolo to Jesus. But this one will be From Gigolo to Jesus, 10 steps on personal growth and spiritual transformation. Because my goal is to create stuff, works, that allow a person to heal, to allow a person to grow, that allow a person to learn about themselves. So even if you're not ready for counseling, I'm praying that something I can create will pave the way for you to find the light that's missing, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Now, I do want to ask one question because it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to get ready to go in a few minutes, so we're going to go on a little heart run. We didn't get to 10K yet. But I do want to ask this question to anybody watching, so I want you to be very honest with me. A book on recovering from toxic relationships. I have 12 steps, right? How many of you would actually entertain a course if I was to create a course with the 12 steps that are in the book? But of course, I would be teaching a course through video, giving you an opportunity, kind of like what we did today, but more succinct, more to the point. Not me laughing and joking like I'm doing now, but more to the point. How many of you, put a yes or be honest with me, and it don't want to hurt my feelings. How many of you would actually pay for a course with me going over the 12 steps of dealing with of toxic relationships, how to recover from toxic relationships? And if it's no, that's fine, because now my question is first, I appreciate it. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate that, because that's something that I'm thinking about doing. Is when I finish the book, I'm thinking about taking each step and creating a course so you can actually go through each of the steps, but get more detail on what each step would look like and how you can apply it to yourself. So I want to kind of turn each step into like a mini opportunity to pick my brain as a counselor. So you have the book that you can read, but also you get to hear from me and some other things in a course-like setting. I'm trying to work that as well. I think I'm going to build that as well. It may be on the Teachable platform. I'm dropping my phone here. Look at that. Okay, I'm good. No earthquakes. I live in Delaware. It was me hitting my cord here with my knee. Okay. Step 1 was upgrade crappy and useless items. Thomas. There we go. So I asked that question, how many people would actually be interested in a course if I was to create one? I do polls for everything. Like right now, the poll is on the title. I gave you the title. Okay, so here's what we're going to do before I get ready to jump off here. I'm going to go back to my music because I didn't take any music breaks today, and that's not knowing my style. Okay, so I'm going to play some music. I would. I'm doing one now on how to break soul ties. Soul ties. I talk about that too. I love that because that's important because I've been with a lot of people sexually, and I have to explain that that's one of the things when I go out to speak publicly. The thing that I regret most about my past sexual behavior, being with over 400 people, some foolishness like that, is that that's 400 people that now know what my wife and I share. And there's nothing I can do about that. But if I had to do it all over again, that would be something I would do differently. I would. I'm doing one on, and it does the same way by using each other. There you go. Exactly. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to play some of this new Johnny Gill, a New Edition. And while the music is playing, I want you to rapidly just tap the screen as we're going to vibe out on this music for a couple of minutes. I'm not going to play the whole song because it's a long song. And I just want to say, as we're doing it, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. It is about the people that's here, not the people that's not. But if for any reason you missed this or you want somebody to get this whole thing, I download the live and send it over to YouTube. And on my YouTube, there's about 300-something videos. By all means, go over there, subscribe, give me your thoughts, your feedback. And if you need professional counseling, if I am somebody that you would like to work with, go to my bio, click on my Linktree link. You will see a discovery link session. And you can set that up and we can sit down and talk and figure out if I am the person that can help you. Because that's what I do. So, again, while the music is on, here we go. What we're going to do is you're going to tap that screen. So let's go. Let me turn this music up a little bit. Audition. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's tap that screen. Come on, guys. Come on now, rock out with me. Rock out with me. Name of the song is This One Is For Me and You. Johnny Gill, featuring New Edition. Come on now. There we go. That's what I like to see in our hearts. Come on. Johnny Gill, underrated voice. Come on now, let's go, guys. Come on. Ellie, I thank you so much. I appreciate you, sister. Thank you. Music, let's go. Hey, we got over 10K. Let's go. Keep going. Remember, woo, in September. Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Come on. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Make sure you share them. Let's get folks over here. I'm about adult, grown conversation. We can't get better if we just fool into the ignorance. I don't get into drama. I don't get into none of that. This is what I do. If I can't build people up, then what am I doing? There's no reason for me to be online.
So let's celebrate, 'cause we got it good. A classic going down in history.
Come on. Ralph Tresvant, let's go.
So baby, put that glass down.
Woo. Come on now. Keep hitting those hard, guys. Come on, let's go, let's go. Keep tapping. Remember in September. Woo. Fell in love. Woo. Record play. Thank you, I appreciate you, appreciate you. Come on, that's what I'm talking about. Appreciate you, Amina. Fills up the room.
Sounds so good to me.
For me and you. Let it play, let it play.
This one's for my
Baby. Hey, let it play, let it play.
This one's for me and you.
Hey, let it play, let it play.
Just for me and you, girl.
Play, let it play, let it play. I'm going to have a hard conversation. Thanks for giving me the courage. Okay. You know what? Hold on 1 second. Steph, here's the thing. Before you have that hard conversation, right? And I want to make sure because I don't want you just jumping out there. Before you have that hard conversation, make sure you are clear on what it is that you want. And then I want you to make sure that this is a conversation that you're ready to have now. You don't know what his response is going to be, and that's okay. Do not bring a conversation to the table until you have looked at every angle for yourself. One, why am I having this conversation right now? What is it that I want as a result? What is the best case scenario if everything goes the way I want it with this conversation right now? And three, if this conversation, thank you so much, I appreciate you. If this conversation goes the way I don't want it to go, am I prepared for that? Take your time with that before. Don't rush something just to rush it. Don't put it out there just to get information unless you're ready to do something with it. Don't upset the apple cart just because you want to. Know why you want to upset the apple cart. And then once you've gone through all your thinking, once you've gone through all your planning, once you have those answers that I just asked you, go on and have that conversation. It's going to be what it's going to be. You can't keep somebody else connected to you just because. Okay? I hope that helps, because I don't want you to go out and make a move and it not be the move that you want and then say, this fool on TikTok told me. No, this fool on TikTok will help you. But I want to make sure you're clear on what that you're going to do before you do it. All right, let's go. Let's go back to it, guys. Come on, keep tapping that screen. Here we go. Come on. Day in September. Come on. In love. Come on. Break and play. Come on. So good to me. Come on, let's go. Rock out with me. Come on. Good to me. Hey, we're up to 15K. Come on. For my girl. Come on. All right. I said I was going to play the whole song and almost played the whole song. Johnny Gales, This One's For Me and You, featuring New Edition. That was the song for today. Like I said, I am going to download this, move it to my YouTube page. And before I go, again, I want to give a big shout out to all of you. Ellie, thank you. Romina, thank you. Steph, thank you. Mega, thank you. Let me just go back through here. Just, thank you. Thomas, thank you. And remember, I'm here every Friday, 11:30, unless something jumps off. And Giant and Gina, thank you. Appreciate you. Make sure I got that right. Queen, thank you. You keep singing. Thank you. Keep tapping those hearts as I find. Joyce, thank you. Oh, is that Jocelyn? Thank you. I want to make sure I got that right. Thank you. Lavonda, I think if I got that right, thank you. If you're still here, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. We got Linda popped in. Thank you. We have one hater today, so the hater numbers are going down. I only had to block one person today. Appreciate that. If it starts getting too crazy, then I'm going to start adding monitors. I might have to make Ellie a monitor. I like the way she rocked out today. Appreciate that. So if you ever want to be a monitor, Ellie, you let me know. I'll make you a monitor. And if I, let's see, and we had, let's see, there we go. And I'm going to actually go out. Gap, thank you. Missed that one. I'm going out and find me a little saw for my crab legs today. Baby girl, thank you. She was here today. Solomon, thank you. Salon, thank you. Terry, thank you. Funny, thank you. Dumplings, thank you. I like that name, Dumplings. Thank you. TGS, thank you. You added something to the conversation today. Oh, man. So let me slide this back up. And anybody else I missed? Hey, okay. Let me see. I got two people that want to mod for me. There we go. Let's see what we got here. All right. I got to figure out how to do that. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Add moderator. Okay. So you now Have moderator power. Let's go. I'll add you two as moderators. I have no problem with that. Thank you. Oh, let me see, Gab. I got to get you there. Hold on a second. There we go. Manage. All right. I have my first two moderators. So here's the thing. Don't block them. Don't delete them unless they're just super rude. If they come in rude, they got to go. Other than that, we give folks an opportunity to have their say here simply because I am not soft of skin. I'm thick of skin. But also I want to see where a person's going, because sometimes the disrespect is really a cry for attention, and the person may not know how to come into an intelligent room and offer something to the overall mix. We don't block people for that. What we block is disrespect, because there's no reason for disrespect. Foolishness we can discuss. I deal with kids, so foolishness doesn't bother me. But disrespect, you got to go. I don't get how positive messages get haters, because it's not the message. It's the person. Oh, who asked that? Just what it is that it's not the information. It's that some people don't like to see other people happy because they're unhappy. Remember the old adage, misery loves company, because people, when they're sad, still don't want to be alone. Remember, we're social creatures. Even in our negative state, we crave to be around other people. It's like when you see two elderly folks who seem to just hate each other. So why do y'all stay with each other? Because they honestly can't see themselves with nobody else. So they'd rather stay under one roof and hate each other than go out here and try to start over. A lot of it is fear. A lot of it is personal discontent. Also, because I don't know where a person is coming from. Some people will crave attention in the worst ways. Okay, I'll give you an example of this, right? Here we go. And you can keep tapping the screen, guys. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes. If a child walks into a room, right, full of people, full of parents, and yells out, "Hey, I got an A," most will look over and say, "Congrats, cool." Kid will go on about their business. That's child one. Second child comes through the door. Room full of adults and parents. Second child says, "Everybody in this room can go F themselves." Everybody stops. What the? Did that kid just? Now, here's what that kid learned. I can get everybody's attention by being negative. Negativity causes attraction. We slow down for car accidents. We pull out our phones instead of helping people. Drama fuels attention. It's why we have these stupid reality shows that you know are not reality because they're being filmed. So they just happened to have the film in the bathroom when she said, "I'm going to go sleep with her man." They just happened to have the camera in the car when he said, "He don't know that I'm sleeping with his wife." No, it's staged. But if I make it seem real, people react to it. So drama fuels ratings, so people love drama. I choose not to get into drama. It's also the reason why I limit my time on any social media app. I only come on Fridays. And when I come in, I stick to mature, intellectual conversations. And is it for everybody? No. Will I have 5, 6, 8,000 people in the live? No. But who needs to hear it will hear it. Who needs to experience me will experience me. Here's also what I've learned about social media. A lot of people who have a lot of followers are broke because they got the attention, but there's no substance. There's nothing that when you turn this app off, they have to offer somebody else. Those degrees on the wall back there, okay, yeah, they're there, but I'm able to leverage those to get other people to pay me for what I do. So if I never came back on social media ever, I still would be okay. I don't make money from social media. I don't. I really don't. I don't make money from social media. I enjoy coming on, but my viewers, low. My YouTube, low. So how do I do okay? Because I deal with real people. Now, do I have a couple of clients that I have able to connect with? Yes. But for the most part, people refer me. Yes, and here's the best part of the richness that I have. I have peace. Oh, Keith K.L. Belvin. Everything on social media is my name. See, that's another reason. I don't hide from anybody. I don't have these weirdo names and all. I ain't got 17 accounts. If they ban this one, I'm going on about my business. I am Keith K.L. Belvin on all platforms. And that is my real name. And what I would say to you is do a Google search for who I am. And you will see that I have been doing this for years. I'm an old head. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That means something to me, Steph. I appreciate that. And that is my goal every week, every Friday, to come on and try to make someone's day better. Keith K.L. Belvin. Thank you, Ellie. That's what I do. And if I can have you, when I turn this camera off, to go back to your office, to go back home or somewhere else and say, hey, I just met a guy. You should go follow him. I'll take that, because if you go see my videos, again, are always with music. I try to smile in all of them, even when I'm sad, because I know somebody needs that. And when I do have the occasional person who reaches out and says, I need some help, I'm here for that too. That's why my hashtag, I have two. One hashtag is we can fix this. Hashtag we can fix this, because I believe that. And my other hashtag is bring me your pain. So how can I tell people bring me your pain if I'm not prepared to deal with it? Thank you so much, Shiz. I appreciate that. That means something to me. Here's something that my wife gave me, right? Oh, we got the 20K. Let's go. Here's something that my wife gave me. Do you know there was a time I would sit quietly, right? And I would just kind of analyze everything from the back. My wife is the one who said, you have to get out here and talk more. I said, I run my mouth too much as it is, baby. She said, no. When you're talking, other people ear hustle and they come over. And that was like 15, 16 years ago. And I said, yeah, but what if they don't want to hear what I got to say? She said, they will. She said, don't stop talking. And all of a sudden, it was like a light went on. And now let me give you this last story before I go. I used to live in New York. I told you that I was born in New York, lived in New York. We used to come down to Delaware. This is where I live now. And used to sell books and do different events down here. I was at an event in Wilmington, Delaware, 2011. Yeah, 2011. I had written 3 books at the time. And so I was here for a book event. I set up my wife and I set up our table. And my wife and I joke like, my wife, first of all, is 10 years younger than me, so I got to stay on top of my grind. How am I keeping a woman 10 years younger happy? That is my lovely wife, by the way. Former model, former cheerleader. So, yes. So, to keep a woman 10 years younger than you happy. But anyway, here's the thing. So, we come down to Wilmington. We set up our table, got the books out and everything. You know, people are coming over. It's slow. Les Brown was the key speaker. Thank you. Appreciate that. Les Brown was the keynote speaker. And I've heard Les Brown speak before, and I'm one of the great motivational speakers. I was out. Yes, I there was a time she wasn't. Early in the relationship, it wasn't. She caught me cheating 3 times before we got married. 3. We had to overcome all of that. And I told the story about that last week. So Les Brown was speaking. And I'm out talking to, me and my wife are joking and laughing like we always do. A gentleman comes over. His name is Dominic. And he said, he was doing security. He said, I just got to say, I'm watching you and your wife play. And like, how long y'all been married? And I said, at that point, it had only been 11 years. And she said, wow, you know, y'all are having such a good time. I know things are slow for y'all. I said, we're not worried about the money. We're good. So him and I got to talking, and then he just shared out of the blue that he once tried to unalive himself. And I was like, really? And we got to talking. A sister who was at the other table, she got up and came over and started talking. So now there's 2 people. Another person came over, was sharing in the conversation. So we're, you know, I'm holding court, we're talking. The woman who set all this up, she had came out. I didn't see her walk up. And we're talking, and I was explaining to him that I'm so glad that you didn't achieve what you were trying to achieve. And I said to him, if I can ever help, please let me know. And I hadn't started my counseling business, but I've always been a person that's helped people. And I said, because you made my day by coming over and saying what my wife and I made you feel. And if you weren't here, you couldn't offer that compliment. Again, find the small things. And we're talking, and I started talking about love or something like that. And the woman who did the whole thing said, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. She said, well, first, let me just say, if I had known I had you out here, I would have rather had you on the stage, because Les is boring me to death. And I'm not going to disrespect Les Brown. That's not my style. That man earned what he gets. She said, if I paid you $3,000, would you come here to talk next year? And I joked when I said $3,000, I'll ride my bike down here from New York to speak. And she said, well, we're going to talk. And she gave me her card. She said, because Les is in there talking about the same thing he was talking about before. And I'm like, and then she said, but I like what I see from you. And I said, okay. And that was my first major speaking gig. I got a $3,000 offer because I was having a conversation with people around my table at an event for somebody else. But if I hadn't listened to my wife and just sat quietly, like a lot of times I did, because I just felt like I didn't want to overwhelm a situation and I didn't want to feel like I was just riding off of the mount. Right place, right time, but I'm going to give you something, Gap. It's more than right place, right time, because when you access your gifts make way for the right places. So you'll be in the right time more often than you realize, because I've been offered more since then. And here's what I've learned since then in the last 12 years. If you give into your gifts and you shape your business and the things that you do professionally around your gifts, God will make a way that you won't have to worry. And I have not had to worry. Now, I've had to struggle. Struggle is part of it, but not worry. And the one thing that has always happened is I've always been able to find a way to take care of my family because of talking. And now I do it for a living. Now I get paid to do it. And I'm paid a lot. And I'm not saying that to flex. I'm saying it because it's how I feed my family. But because I enjoy doing it, it doesn't seem like work sometimes. Now, I still got to learn how to get all this paperwork together, because sometimes I hate doing that. I'm not going to lie to you. Paperwork is not my thing. But that's where you have to worry about building your circles. I have assistants for that. Today, I got 2 new moderators. Oh, listen, my wife, if it's not because of God and my wife, you don't see those degrees on the wall. Those degrees are as much hers as they are mine, because she edited all my papers. So I speak about this all the time. You should honor your spouse, because if you really love your spouse, you want the world to know. My wife being on a pedestal keeps other dudes away from her. But I am a better man because of my wife. That's how I know she was a gift from God. Because I became something that I don't think I would have became on my own without her. She became something that she would not have become. Again, my wife prayed to God to send her somebody who loves her. That same night, I prayed to God, send me somebody who understands me. And over the years, we got exactly what we needed, because to deal with my crazy behind, she needed that. But her positioning in life is firm. She don't play. She like my grandmother and mother. She don't play with me. She know I'm crazy, so she like, boy, please, go sit down. And she a hood chick, so she ain't soft. And I don't think I could ever be with a woman that was soft. And what I learned from myself over the years is that the women that I treated was worse were the women who did not push back. The women who let me do whatever because I was smooth, because I was handsome, because I had money, because I was a ball player, because I made them believe that I was in love, but never actually showed any love. Now as the shepherd, I stand in front of all the women that I used to target, and I fight back for you. Yes, I'm a real shepherd, because I have to put my dirt out there first if I want you to understand that I earned the right to be a shepherd, because I was the wolf. When I go out and speak, I don't hesitate on that. And I have to then explain to you how I got here. The very first thing we talked about. And in the book, number 1, take note of how you got to this point. I said that to you. Because I take note of it, talk about it, express it, because I got here because of a lot of hard work and pain. And trust me, there's some things that if I could do it over again, I would. There's some things that I put into motion that I can't get back. I created children when I shouldn't have. I had the whole baby mama drama. That's what the whole Ebony magazine thing is right there. If you go back to 2012, my wife and I are in the Black Love edition. That's the Red Tails, when Red Tails, the movie, was coming out. But we're featured in Ebony magazine. And one of the things it talks about is overcoming baby mama drama. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is Ebony. This is Ebony. I gotta hold on. Let me take this thing out before I mess around and break my phone. All right, hold on a second. And if we don't let people know how we got there, then how do we expect them to trust us? Okay, so this is Ebony Magazine, right? 2012, January issue. There it is, February 2012. Okay, February 2012. And that's the Red Tails cast right there. All right, now this is the international cover. This is the one that went out all over the country. All these very good-looking brothers of color who are all in the movie. Red Tails, the Tuskegee Airmen. Well, in that, this is also the Black Love issue. And in the Black Love issue, it talked about ways to develop black love. And one of the people that is featured in the Black Love issue, there you go. I bring receipts. I'm not just talking to be talking. And actually, there's that lovely woman again. And it says, we survived infidelity and checked baby mama drama. So it's not me making it up. It's me telling you from experience. So if Ebony Magazine, an international magazine, can say, we want you to be represented in our magazine. Now you see why I found it funny when Homeboy said, you can't talk on my live. Really? So Ebony Magazine can feature me in their magazine, but I can't talk on your live on a social media app. Okay. Love doesn't hurt. Lesson number 2. We walk, and let me tell you, here's the best thing about this article, right? Here's the crazy part. I want you to see if you can see that name at the bottom. You know who wrote this article? My lovely wife. My lovely wife, Tiffany Braxton Belvin, right there from New York. My wife wrote the article. She wrote the article, but featured what we did, but featured my book and other stuff. And that is why your gifts will make a way for you. Here's the best part. We didn't know we were writing for Ebony at the time that we were asked. They said, would you write something for an article that's coming up? I said, sure. And then I had told my wife, I said, you know what? I'm super busy. I need you to write it. She's like, no, I ain't got time. I said, no, write it. Just, they want to know about our relationship. I do all the talking anyway. So we talked about it. I said, you write it. If I need to, I'll go over it if there's anything I need to add. And so when she wrote it and I read it, I was like, cool. And sure enough, we then got a call and said, your article was picked up. I was like, okay, cool. And then a couple of months later, they said it's going to be featured in Ebony Magazine. So your gifts will make a way for you guys. And I come on because I want to be real in a land of fake, in an ocean of fake. A lot of people scared to be who they really are. A lot of people are scared to use their real names because they're so scared. And yeah, the world is a dangerous place. But my faith is bigger than any danger that man can try to put me in. So the idea, hey, what's going on? So the idea is I share because I'm a real counselor. I'm a real person who wants to help. I can't be that if I'm trying to be somebody else. Friend me back, though. Why? Tell me why. You came in, you said, hey, and went right to what you wanted instead of the conversation. So why should I friend you back? Help me out. Because I probably will. But I'm going to let you in on a secret, right? I'm a nonconformist. I most time don't do the things I'm told to do. But if you want to have a conversation with me, come on, let's have a conversation. No, it's okay. Listen, I'm here to help. I'm here to talk. I'm good. How are you today? And thank you for joining the conversation, even though I'm getting ready to get off in a couple of minutes. Thank you for joining the conversation. Now, you asked me to follow you back. Why? Let's talk. I'm here, and I'm not being rude, and I'm not being condescending. I'm having a conversation because I think too often we ask, but we don't actually engage. I'm trying to go Wimmy. What is Wimmy? Because I'm trying to go Wimmy. What is Wimmy? Help me out. I don't know what Wimmy is. Oh, you're trying to go live. Okay. So then the better question should be you come into the room and say, hey, buddy, you think there's a way that you can help me go live? But you already have 1586 followers. You can go live. You already have over 1,000 fellas. You can go live. You don't need me to do that. You already have 1,500 people following you. You got to friend. No. You mean go live with me here? Okay, so let's see. But you haven't offered anything to the chat, so I can tell that you just got here. So here's what we do, because I'm actually going to get ready to get off, so no, I'm not going to take. When you come into the chat and have a conversation, then if you're going to come up and go live, I have no problem with it. I'm just not inviting you up to get in the box for the sake of getting in the box. That's not what I do. If you come in and offer something to the conversation, I'll gladly have you get in the box and we can talk. Because if not, there's no reason to go back and forth when I don't have an idea where you're coming from. And as you came in, there was nothing really for us to be able to talk. I am what? Because the goal here is to become understanding of each other. We are talking. We have been. I'm here to talk. But you have still not offered what it is that you want to talk about. That's the reason why I said come to the chat first. Then if you want to come in the box, I have no problem with that. Right now, you're telling me what's advantageous to you. I'm saying, how is this mutually advantageous for both of us? You just like texting? Well, we're texting. You're good. So there's no reason to get in the box. But it's after 1:30 anyway. You got here too late, bro. Hit me in it. I don't like texting. Okay, I got you. So again, that's a you thing. You still haven't offered me anything. You still haven't made it mutual. You've made it one-sided. And you have a bunch of I messages there. I messages don't help anybody. That's a selfish thing. You have not said, we could talk about this. You came in and said, I want, give me, do this. Why? You haven't offered anything in the group to the people that's here. Let's talk about your degrees and your background. What would you like to know about my degrees and the background? I have a master's degree in human service counseling. I have a master's degree in education, curriculum writing, assessment, and teaching. I am a quality educator of 22 plus years from New York City Department of Education. And I am a private consultant, crisis specialist, educator, and author. All the things that can be done with a simple Google search. I do not hide from who I was, am, and anything like that. I am a 6-time author, an award-winning poet, and I am a contributor to 7 different literary works. And as you just saw, if you were here, can we talk? Can we what? I don't get into online conversations if I don't see the value in the conversation. You haven't offered anything. All you've done is request. That's not good enough. Well, we're talking. It's not disrespectful. We're talking. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like the compliment. But my question, here's my question, because you have not answered my question. You say you want to talk about my degrees. I explain my degrees. What is it that you really want? Because I offered my information about my degrees. What is it that you want from me that you feel you need to speak to me directly? Let's have that conversation. You said you don't like texting. I got you. But if you don't like texting, the easier that you answer my questions, the faster we can get in the box to have a conversation. You're defeating your own purpose. Because I'm always here to learn. I'm always open to learn. That don't mean I give just for the sake of giving. My boundaries are clear. We talked about that if you got here a little late. We talked about that. And boundaries was number 2. My boundaries are clear because I make them clear. I'm trying to gain knowledge. Okay, I respect that. Well, here's what we're going to do, because I'm going to get ready to get off, so I'm all knowledge out at the moment. 2 things that we can do. 3. First, I'll be here next Friday. Show up next Friday. Offer something to the conversation. You can come on and get in the box and we can have a conversation. 2, my YouTube page has over 300 something videos. So if you want to gain any knowledge from me, you will be able to gain a ton of stuff that I have given the world over there. And 3, if you really want to have a conversation with me, click on my link. My discovery session is there. You can actually set up a private session with me and we can have a conversation there. Phone gonna be off tomorrow. Well, then you're not ready to actually have that conversation, bro. Because again, you still want me to work within your parameters. I'm sorry. I can't do that. So when your phone gets back on, I said next Friday, by the way. So you got time to take care of your phone and come back on. There's opportunities for you to learn. I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. So when you get your phone situation, I'm good. And we go from there. But there's a lot of ways for you to figure out how to reach me and talk and everything like that, if you're ready for that. We just need to be clear on what it is. And when you come into anybody's space, you don't bust up in somebody's house and say, yo, I want. Bro. All right, so listen. Nate, appreciate you. Nate the Great, appreciate you. Nah, we good. Don't go that route because I don't want the moderators to have to exercise their block abilities. We've talked. So now I got to get ready to go because I've been on for an hour and a half. You should, or 2 hours actually. You should have been here, bro. So anyway, guys, next Friday, 11:30. And again, please stop by my page. 11:30, just 11:30, Friday, 11:30. Or is it 11? No, 11:30. You almost threw me off. 11:30, just 11:30 to whatever time we finish up every Friday. And again, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, author, educator, father, husband. I am going to go celebrate my wife's birthday and see if they have delivered the crab legs because I got to make her some dinner for tomorrow, not tonight because we got a bowl tonight. But I'm going to cook dinner for her tomorrow. And I want to let everybody know, remember, you are in control. You just see what people be going through? No, I don't. I'm here for everybody, bro. You're angry that you didn't get what you wanted. I'm sorry. You can't come into a party late and then demand that they start the whole party over because you got here because you wanted something. I'm sorry that we're just meeting under those circumstances, but I gave you 3 ways that you can get closer to understanding who I am. You take those steps and I'll meet you on the other side. I didn't say we couldn't talk. I say, I did mod you. I didn't mod you? I did. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. There we go. Got you, Gap. You good? I think I modded you now. So we good? Well, you can DM me, bro. We're not going to continue this conversation because I really don't want the ladies to put you on mute. We've already had the conversation. Now you're demanding when you're not in a position to demand. Don't go there. It's not necessary. I'm already clear. I'm only restating things I've already said to you. What you want is irrelevant. I've already said to you what I can give you. You didn't like it. Now, such is life. So like I said, you come back next week. We can take it from there. Or like I said, I've given you the other steps. I've already said you can DM me, sir. Go ahead. You can inbox me. Go right ahead. It'll come up. It'll say you have a message from somebody you're not following. I then can look at the message to see if I want to follow it, and we good. Everything is good. I'm just having a conversation. Nate the Great popped in, and I'm just having a conversation with Nate. Unfortunately, I can't give him what he wants. But it's okay. Sometimes we have to be persistent, but that's where there's been no rudeness. So as long as he's not rude, I'm okay. Because that's the thing, guys, is you talk or deal with anything for as long as you want to. It has nothing to do with what the other person wants. It has to do with what you want to do. I'm still kind of curious in what it is that he wants. He hasn't stated. He's given some general things, but nothing that's directly to the point. So that's why I'm entertaining it. I'm also entertaining it for you guys to also see what it looks like. So it's not just me giving you a list of things. I want you to actually see some of the things that I talk about in motion. Sometimes we don't get a chance to actually put live things into motion. Now we get a chance to do that. And also because this is a thing that happens on all apps with people who are interacting with each other who don't know each other. So the goal is to have those conversations and to go from there. And sometimes, as I said, the help is not always going to be what people want. But I can't give you what you want because that doesn't mean I'm going to actually help you. And sometimes it can come off as disrespect. It can come off as rude. I once had a student say to me, Mr. Keith, you're so mean. I said, I'm not mean. I'm firm. There's a difference. Mean is if I'm trying to disrespect you. Firm is just me holding a line to something that I think, feel, and believe. So this is what I do. It is helping. Now, everybody may not like the style of help. As I said, I'm not for everybody. But I do try. And I do offer. That doesn't mean that the offers are always going to be accepted. And I said to you before, we have to learn that no is a real thing. Not everybody wants to hear no, though. Many of us, it's hard sometimes hearing no. But when you have the opportunity, when you have teachable moments, you have to jump on them. It won't let me text you. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Now, I followed you. Go ahead and send me your message. I will look at your message. And if the message is not clear, then I will go ahead and delete you. So I got you. I followed you. You got what you wanted. You said follow you at the beginning. I gave you that. Now I'll ask your question, but I'm going to be very honest with you. If your question is not of any substance, I will delete the question and block you. Okay? Because at this point, you got it. Now I'm waiting. The ball's in your court. Let's see what's going on. Because if you really need help, I'm here for that. Guys, have a great weekend. Be safe. Don't get caught up in these internet streets for too long, man. And remember, take some time for yourself. Remember the list. Oh, yes. Oh, I listened to a song 2 or 3 times. That's the attention deficit that I have. Just finishing up is the last 30 seconds of it anyway. Yes, I will. Thank you so much. All right, guys, listen, take it easy. Have a wonderful weekend. If you need me, reach out. God bless, guys.